I believe there is nothing more divisive than the thematic of motherhood. Because it does feel like every time you say the word mother or like motherhood, the whole institution and its history is just falling on you like a hammer on your head, and it's very difficult to navigate it with an open mind. Because if you pull the thread of childcare, very quickly what comes is society's injustice and history of colonialism, slavery, women being relegated into a subsection of society. It appears as something very simple, and yet the minute you start digging into it, it becomes extremely problematic, divisive, complicated, ambivalent. And in regards to question related to childcare, parenthood, this labor is not really recognized, valued, represented. It's not considered as it's adding value to society, but it does add value to society. So why is it not calculated? And still, the abortion right is a battle. So the decision not to have a child is also a battle. So in a way, there's been really a regression for women's rights. And then I think for things to change, you need a very strong political desire for things to change. And I don't see that. I see a strong desire from society to change, but I don't see a strong political desire. I remember reading that nothing is given to another category of people, like spontaneously. More rights, more opportunities is always something you have to take. It does feel now that it's really something people start to talk about, but it has been a very long time before it started. And there's so much to say. There's much more to say about motherhood than there is to say about war. It's been experienced so many more time by so many more people. But we have plenty of documentation and monuments about war, and we have so little about motherhood. I mean, we have really interesting literature of Hélène Cixous. Moira David is a mother reader, which was an amazing guide through my work. There is Chantal Chawaf, there is Jeanne Lazare, there is Annie Ernaux, there is Sarah Rubin Suleiman. There's, plenty of authors. I could not. Maggie Nelson recently. So in terms of literature, there's actually a really good number of amazing books. In art, there is also a good number of artists who've been addressing the topic. But I feel like, I remember actually I read that in an essay recently. It's a woman writer who was writing we need many, many, many more works of art about it. We need many, many, many more books. It will never be enough because society hasn't changed. Silvia Federici has written Caliban and the Witch. I think it was the year of my birth. I was reading it in the train while I was actually breastfeeding my first child, and everybody was looking at me with very angry eyes because people don't like, a small baby in the train. It's a disturbance. Except there was this one man, a bit older, who came to me after 2 hours and was like, I see you reading Silvia Federici. It's great. And we talked a little bit, and I said, you and I, this man and me, we're coming from such a different generation. He said, I'm so happy to see that a young woman like you is reading Silvia Federici. And I told him, yes, but I can't believe. It also makes me sad to see this book has been written when I was born. And so little has changed since that, it's been 43 years. Yeah, maybe the inertia of patriarchy is very difficult to move. It's something that was already there, so it doesn't need to establish itself. And therefore, it will always be stronger and more difficult to challenge than the force of change. It will need more than text and paintings and sculpture. But I mean, it's not nothing.